Hey, this
All
is
right.
Will,
And this is Thomas.
and this is OK Boomer. Thanks for joining us at today's Spinner Rack. We're going to take a look at the legendary Demon #1 by Jack the King Kirby.
Yes. I love the Demon. He's one of my, kind of one of those cool DC characters I like. Just great little character. But I had never read this issue until now. It's kind of weird. I got a bunch of them though.
I actually have this one in my collection somewhere, but unfortunately, my collection is mostly in storage, still at my friend's house. Once the Rona is done and people can move about, I can get all my stuff back from his house and bring it into my loft here. So,
Cool.
but I haven't read it in a long time. I scored like the first 6 issues of this. I think it was 6. Yeah. Um, at my LCS during a sale for like $20
Oh, you can't beat that.
years ago, and I also got a 2-pack, not by Jack, but I got the Matt Wagner miniseries, which is awesome.
Oh, the one with art by Magnolia.
And the covers that Matt did, and then there was like another Demon miniseries that Keith Giffen did.
I don't know if I've read that one. I think I've read the one that Wagner did with. I thought it had art by Magnolia, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look at it now. I've got a bunch of them. I just don't have a one. And like I said, it's kind of cool to read. It actually left me a lot of questions reading one than it did on reading some of the other ones. Man, he could draw a cover, especially something like this.
Oh yeah, the colors are amazing on this, and he pretty much did just about everything in here. It was just him and one other guy.
Yeah, it was. We bring it up. And I can show you who it was. It was. Is it on this page where they say who it is? It must be on the end. Yeah, he only has he has a letterer, and that's it. He does everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see a color or anything. What did you think? Because, like I said, I had never read this one. I've read a bunch of the Demon stuff before. I, I guess it'd be a little call out here. Issue 6 is probably one of my favorite ones because it has Clarion the Witch Boy in it, and I don't know why, but I love the Witch Boy. He is just so freaky. But knowing everything he did in FF with all the 4-panel and the 5-panel placements, like the very beginning of this book is like 4 splash pages.
Oh yeah, it's just great.
Yeah.
I mean, you open up this book and you're just enveloped by the greatness of Jack the King Kirby.
Oh, I know. I mean, and I love Kirby. I know it sounds terrible. A lot of people may agree with me, some won't. I know there's a bunch of fans. I like Kirby a lot more than I do Ditka. Um, I don't know why. Ditka's a little different for me. I love his stuff on like the Question and that, but overall, I really prefer Kirby to Ditka.
Well, they're both great, but they called Jack the King for a reason too.
Oh yeah, that's why he's #1 on there. Henry says he was mad when he made this, so he poured a bunch into it. Yeah, you can tell he was a little upset with it.
Yeah, it was he was a little pissed off at Stan and the boys in the bullpen,
Oh yeah, he
and
really was.
he came over to DC with a vengeance with this book. Now his origin here is a little different than the one that people might know if they're just familiar with Demon. Yeah, I agree, John. Uh, People that have been introduced to Demon like in the more modern age, and through the cartoons because he appeared on He appeared in a few, like the recent Justice League Dark cartoon.
Oh yeah, the
So
Justice Unlimited
his
stuff.
the updated origin of him there, which is much different from this, was that Jason Blood was a knight of the realm and he fell in battle. And Merlin bonded Etrigan to him so he could live and he'd have the power to survive with the demon.
I'll have to go back and watch the show again. Yeah, because the origin is that if that's how they show it in the show, which I'm sure it is. Yeah, it is much different in here than it was in.
Yeah, this is the original.
Like,
this is the original one. It got changed a little bit here and there over the years.
it's reversed then because the demon is almost like he's bound to Jason Blood, or he takes on the form of Jason Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Reading that's what I got.
Well,
Yeah.
in here, Merlin turns Etrigan into a human.
Yeah, into Jason Blood.
Yeah, and he's immortal through that, and I see the transition of the retelling of the origin, making him a knight of the round because Merlin and Camelot were involved in the original origin. So they just wanted to, they basically spruced it up a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing that's funny is, that you've got Merlin, you've got, Camelot, you've got all this. They don't mention Arthur, they don't mention the sword, not in this issue at all. Matter of fact, even reading it and looking at some of the artwork, it's almost like I'll say it's Asgard, but it's almost like Asgard. It's kind of futuristic, the castle and all this weird, ancient machinery and stuff.
Yeah, it was very much you could see we all know he worked for years and years at Marvel, so it's like no secret, but you can see, like, especially like on this page, you can see like Tales of Asgard like all through this.
Oh yeah,
because he created all that stuff, so
it's going to bleed over.
Yeah, but he had Morgan Le Fay as the big bad in this issue.
And they don't mean. I did notice as we're reading it with Morgan Le Fay, because like I said, we talking about the characters. I can't remember where Mordred shows up. He wasn't even in this issue. And if you watch the Justice League cartoons, she's always got Mordred. He's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not even in this issue.
Nope, yeah,
it's plain as day, man. It really is. I mean, even
too bad Thomas doesn't know anything about Thor.
Yeah, exactly. I Thor comics. The thing that's funny is even later on, because like I said, I'm still reading that Secret History of Marvel book where, according to the book, Kirby wanted to kill off Thor and them, and he wanted to bring in the new gods. He even talks about it here in The Demon later on in the book, which I thought was just amazing. Bam, there it is. So we got 3 splash pages and then a triple page.
Yep.
Morgan Le Fay.
Yep, and she lasted through time because over the course of time at DC, she's gone on and appeared in various other books and been with Mordru against the Legion and kind of like almost like time hopping.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing too. She's I guess that's Kirby's idea. His idea is so big, and he had so much on plan. Morgan is really she's an ultimate baddie. She's like Darkseid. She's somebody who could really fight anybody, and it doesn't really matter who it is. She's going to give everybody a run.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the fact that she's got minions as we read the book, she's got all these minions and soldiers, and she's got all of this stuff at her disposal, and she's freaking immortal.
Well, all of her followers and all of her power, and she imbues her followers with power to get more of the mystical flame to keep herself young. Like she's not going to die because she's immortal, but she doesn't want to look like the dried prune we see underneath the mask at the end of the issue.
Oh yeah, no, she wants to keep her beauty and her youth and her vitality and everything.
Yeah, she's very vain, and through her vanity comes out the evil witch in her.
Yeah, there he is. What is it? 4 pages in, and there's Etrigan. No Jason Blood anywhere. It's all him. He's kind of, I guess, they say here he's the lead guy stopping the shock troops.
Yeah, and it was interesting that they showed the. Obviously, it's a first issue, so you're gonna incorporate the origin into it, but like a good portion of the first half of the book, most everything was like bound in mystery.
Yeah, they don't explain anything.
So if you were reading this back then, you had to read the entire book before you could, be like 3/4 of the way through before you actually figured out what was going on.
And even then, like I said, I read this one, and I've got issue 2 somewhere. I don't think I have an issue 1, but I've got an issue 2 because I read it not too long ago, and I guess I was putting the modern, origin of the character with issue 2, and it's not the same. That's what we're talking about. It just doesn't jive. And at the end of issue 1, I've got more questions, even though I've already read stuff after this than I do, before.
Yeah, not crazy person outside my window screaming.
That's what I was wondering. Is everything all right?
I'm on the second floor.
Are you? Don't go to the window.
Not without a weapon.
Yeah. So here it is. There's Morgan. He's bringing. He's telling him what's going on, and this is where he bounds. Or turns Etrigan into Jason Blood. Not really.
Yeah.
Bound, but they blow up the castle and everything.
Yeah, because I hadn't read this in so long. So the last panel where he's walking into the forest, I'm expecting to turn the page and see Jason Blood like in Camelot, like Night Scare, and I was sorely misled and disappointed when I turned the page.
Exactly. Because the other thing I was reading it. Is he yelling Etrigan? Let's see. Where is he at? Not yet. Not yet, Henry.
Oh, was it on the previous page when Merlin first summoned him?
Let me see. Yeah, summoned the demon himself. Yeah, he's up here, Etrigan. He'd already summoned him, and then he calls him to bind him to it. Because he gives him a piece of paper. He gives him a scroll out of his Merlin.
Out of the book, yeah, and it was actually the big piece of the puzzle, because that's in the old wizardly language to call forth his true form of Etrigan.
Mm-hmm. It is. With Kirby coming over from Marvel and doing this, there he is. There's Jason Blood. There's our page. Yarva, Etrigan, Demonicus. Jack Kirby and Mike Royer. There's it is. The Inks of Darkness by Mike Royer. Lines of with lines of darkness by Mike. Okay, I guess Mike really put something to it. Um, of all the places he could have set this book though and had Jason Blood work, because he had the whole DC universe, nobody's going to tell him, hell, you can't make up a new city or put your character in New York or wherever.
Yeah, it puts him in Gotham.
I mean, I just don't understand that. Why would you? I mean, this is 71, 72. Why would you put him in Gotham? But he does.
Because in the early 70s, there was Gotham, Metropolis, and Smallville.
We didn't have Central City by then?
Yep, Central City and Star City.
Yeah, that's what I say.
So yeah, there's like 5 locations in the whole DC universe until like 1976.
Then he would, that's what I'm saying. But he could have put him anywhere, but he chose Gotham, where Batman was. And I don't think Batman ever makes an appearance in the original series, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so, but the Demon definitely crossed over multiple times.
Brave and the Bold and stuff.
And Brave and the Bold, Detective, Batman, World's Finest, Justice League.
Yeah. Eternity Book is what Merlin calls it. Eternity Book.
Mm-hmm.
John says, damn, I bought my first copy off the stand. Now I feel old. Well, guess what, John? Welcome to OK Boomer. Old people live.
Yeah, but John's still got all his hair, damn him.
Yeah, that's why I just shaved mine off, because it's going away.
I got to shave mine off because it's nothing but gray.
Nothing but gray. I love Kirby's hands. The way he draws hands are so damn good. I mean, they're big meaty hands, big fingernails. It's just cool.
Yeah, it's just everything that he did, like even like the top second panel here.
Yeah.
The perspective, of looking down and all the detail that he put into it.
Yeah. I mean, and this is where he's thinking about movies and stuff. This is some Orson Welles kind of crap right here. I mean, we go from where if you go back, here we are. We're from this old guy's perspective. He's looking at this, talking to Jason, and then now we switch. Jason is looking at this old guy, and then now we're actually eavesdropping on both of them, and this is us. We eavesdrop the rest of this issue.
Yeah, it's set up like. Yeah, I know you do. Pour me a scotch and get me a cigar, would you, John?
What's funny is it?
Yeah, it's set up. It's set up like they would do storyboards for a movie.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Reading the story, what's funny too is Jason comes to this old guy, and he's talking to him because this guy apparently wrote this book on sorcery, and Jason had to track it down because he's a demonologist, and he reads it, and now this guy's claiming to be the authority, a true sorcerer.
And the other thing too is Jason's been trying to track this guy down for years.
Yeah.
Because he wrote, self-published, and self-distributed the book himself.
Yep, and he discouraged people to really know who he was. So
yeah, he's been in hiding, waiting for Blood and the Demon to show up so he could tell his mistress.
Yeah,
and you get the first glimpse of that in the bottom left panel here. With the close-up of his eye, you see like all the thunder and lightning going on around his pupil there.
Yeah, it's all bloodshot and kind of crazy.
Now, I wasn't sure on this page at this point whether that was one of her evil partners or if that was actually going to turn out to be Merlin in disguise because of the way because of the way he drew the eye. But obviously, we turn the page and find out that nope.
Yeah, no, this is not a nice guy. And he is a powerful sorcerer though. He animates this freaking armor. He just starts taking on Jason.
Yeah, he goes to the armor and he just like goes, "You better recall some of your knowledge very quickly, or you're just gonna die."
Yeah.
And he came very close to it.
Yeah, and he grabs a stick out of the fire here, and somehow the fire causes the armor to blow up. Or the zoom, whatever that is. He blows it up and then lays Jason out. He's unconscious.
Oh yeah, the way he drew blood here, like in the fight with his hair all disheveled and his face was kind of like square jawed.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of his Ben Grimm. When Ben wasn't in rock form.
Oh, when Ben wasn't in rock form. Well,
yeah.
that and that's going to be part of it because Kirby's got that.
Yeah, because he did that too. Yeah.
He's got that that heavy set square jaw. I mean, this is kind of like even here, don't look at the flame. This is kind of Captain America.
Yeah.
And this panel here. I mean, but.
And this is why Stan took him off of Spider-Man, because he didn't want a big muscular guy, and Jackie that didn't get her or was like, I don't care, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing he ever drew is he drew the cover and then Spider-Man in like Avengers 11 or something. It wasn't a whole lot. He's in Fantastic Four 73 too, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So here he is unconscious, and there's Morgan. She finally shows up. Oh, there she is, prune face. Yeah, because she's looking for the Eternity book to try and find Merlin also.
Yeah, because she needs certain pages from that to call forth the proper magic to rejuvenate herself.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this page, and in the climate we live in, I just wanted to yell, "Put on your mask! We're all gonna die!"
She is a little on the ugly side.
Just a bit.
Yeah. But what's funny is after all of this, they dump his ass outside the castle. They just dump him out there, and he wakes up, and
because he's not the only one in many years that have come to the ruins and saw the actual castle there, and went inside, and upon investigation found out they weren't that never happened, and the officer tells you that you're not the first one that we found out here. Yeah, having a interesting hallucination.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what in the world's going on at all. It's just here I am, I'm awake, and the cops tells him it's a haunted place or something.
Yeah, it's ruins, and he's just like flabbergasted. I haven't used that word in years.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course now. All of a sudden, it jumps from Gotham to now we're across the ocean, and there's this. I mean, I guess this is Merlin here, conjuring this demon thing or stone golem to go down and do his bidding.
Yeah, because this is the cat where they're at. It's been renamed, but this is the castle of Camelot, and Merlin made his hideout underneath the grounds.
Yeah, because they call it Castle Branagh.
Yep.
And all these guys are here.
Because they say later on there's only one town with any population anywhere around there.
Yeah. You know what's oh, somebody's
Hello.
moving. Uh,
As we can see, Jason is
mhm.
a big, muscular, stocky fella who looks like he could
Yeah, with
play, linebacker for the Steelers or something.
yeah, with out of proportion legs. His legs are a little wonky right
Yeah,
there.
he skipped leg day.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny they throw these guys in it. What I what I didn't get when I was reading it, because like I said, I always thought Jason remembered his entire kind of past life. Um, but as we read here, it's like he doesn't remember anything at all. He just, he talks about his ancestors. They left me with enough to, I don't have to do anything. I'm just fine. I can do whatever I want to do. And then he's telling the old girl about all his past relatives, but he's talking about them in, it's like a, not third person, but like they're gone. They're not him.
Yeah, well, he knew that picture of his ancestor in the Rembrandt painting was actually him,
Yeah.
and he,
I,
I drew the conclusion that he's immortal, so he's going through everything like Highlander, and kind of like disappearing every so many years, and then coming back,
that's
and
kind of what I was thinking. He is. He's kind of like Highlander. That's the reason he's wealthy. He's had all these years to just lay up stuff and just you know, pretend he's somebody else every so often.
but what he does not know is that he is truly Etrigan the demon.
No, he doesn't know
He's
at all.
chasing. He's been chasing down the clue of that parchment since Merlin gave him as the demon the parchment.
And that was thousands of years ago,
Yep.
or thousands ago, whatever you want to call it. You think this guy's Kirby? You think that guy's Kirby?
It could be.
I was like, because that's what I was thinking when I was reading the book. It's like, man, he stuck himself in here a little bit.
He might have.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time.
No, no, not at all. Now they're having some wild party and
Oh,
dancing
yeah,
really,
they
really weird.
the guy on the top inspecting the sword. That's his wife next to him. That he spoke of while they were, working out at the gym,
Yeah.
and they were throwing a party for Jason at his house, and his friend there.
Brought brought the blonde.
We'll just call that guy Jack. Uh,
Yeah.
and invited over, you know, his girlfriend invited this lovely young blonde girl over to meet Jason.
Yep. And she's just shocked by all these,
Yeah,
my
who
God.
at first I thought might have been our bad temptress in a spell to try to catch something, but it wasn't to be. And then the thing showed up. Oh, I mean, the golem showed up, and
Yeah, the goblin shows up. Not really the thing. How did he get here? I'm not sure he took a plane.
no, I think he basically walked across the ocean floor. But I'm like, you're made of nothing but rock. Why do you
Yeah.
have a long trench coat on and a scarf
And I think he's wearing sunglasses too. He's trying to do his best to hide
to
and
blend in? Yeah,
not stick out. I guess when you're little, those things don't they don't stick out as much as they do now.
yeah. Well, they had to do certain things back in the '60s and '70s for censorship. They still had the comics code going on back then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, he's starting in the
yeah,
party
he,
now.
he gets the parchment, and you can see him in the very last panel on this page pulling his James Bond routine with the young lady.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I have to leave town, but when I get back, count on it.
Yeah, I'll call on you. She's like, you're totally fascinating. Really? All right. I understand that these are the bad guys and they've had plenty of time, but they've got a two-way mirror set up across from his apartment. How long have they really been watching it?
I think this is one of the things that we weren't supposed to question the king on.
All right, is that what it is? I mean, you waited for him to come to you, and
now, yeah, they're searching for him. They're searching for the demon.
Yeah.
They don't, and they only find out and suspect Jason is the demon after he has had his mishap at the ruins of that guy's castle.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that. So in that brief amount of time since he got thrown out of the castle, they bought this apartment next to his and knocked out a wall and put in a two-way mirror of it. Nobody realized.
It's magic.
It's magic? Okay, we'll go with it's magic. Now we're back across the yard there.
Yeah. How much do you think United charged the Golem for how many seats he had to buy?
I don't know. They had to double charge Andre the Giant. He had to pay for 2 seats.
Yeah, he was pissed about that.
Yeah. You could tell as he goes along, as he's developing the story, he really is interested in drawing a lot of the action.
Oh yeah.
I mean that was his whole thing. Everything was bigger than life.
Bigger than life, action packed, and very vivid with the colors.
Yeah.
Like
I like the old
as old as this book goes back, right, John? The color palette that they had to choose from back then, it wasn't like now where, the only way you can tell a color is if you bring your wife and she tells you, what the heck salmon is.
Yeah.
Salmon's something I like to eat on a Friday night, not a color I want to paint on my wall.
Yeah, they only had the the 4 colors, and everything was a mix of the 4.
Yeah. And look at all the vibrancy, and you wouldn't think that this is just 4 color.
No, I mean even here, look, he's got you got your green, a blue like an aqua, and then a lighter blue.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you can still see what that is. These 2-pronged pitchforks. John says that the line work reminds me a lot of Wally Wood. I don't know, maybe. I love Wood too. Wood is great. Did you ever see John, did you ever read Sky Masters by Wood and Kirby? I really like this demon in the bottom corner here. This gargoyle, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, the 4 gargoyles that are guarding Merlin's tomb.
Yes. Yeah, I like this one. Just he looks cool. I like the way he turned it on there.
Yeah, he looks angry.
Yep.
And it's funny too because you can see, he was wearing all the colors of the demon's costume himself throughout the book. It was kind of like watching, an old episode of Smallville. He was never in the costume, but he was always in the colors.
Yep. And then when he changes, that's it. we'll have to do Sky Masters, John. If you've never read it, I'll put a link up to it if you can look on later on. It's an old comic that I think Kirby and Wood did in like '61. It's great. What's funny is there's Morgana follows him. I mean, she's right on his butt as he gets to
Oh
Merle.
yeah, she wants the demon's power and the book.
And then we get a splash at the end.
A big splash,
Yep.
bright bath of fire.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I've got issue 2 sitting around. I may go back and read it again now that I've read issue 1. It's kind of fresh in my head. Um, but he said, he really is a great character. I mean, I like him. I do have a few questions on, how they explain, the money and everything he has over the years, and then, just still kind of curious as to why he wanted him to be in Gotham. But, just overall, just a great, fun little character.
Oh yeah, and the tag oh yeah, Woods EC stuff was incredible.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wood is really, he is that good. Um, his stuff with EC, and then the stuff he did with Eisner when he worked on the Spirit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so what do you think of Demon #1? It's been a while since we talked about it. Or what do you want to review this one or rate it at?
Oh, this book
Yeah,
for me personally, this is a 5 hands down.
really. Yeah, I think. I mean, story wise and creative wise, this is up there. I mean, this is some of the best stuff he did. I think some of the dialogue is a little stilted, and that's what I've read that before. They talk about how his completed work and dialogues he did at DC just are so different, and that's because you got Stan writing on the other side over at Marvel, but you know
Hmm.
it's incredible stuff. I just don't think his dialogue is quite as fluid. Just the art, the create. He's such an idea man for me, though.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because
it's
you
almost
know,
like I know it sounds terrible, but Kirby's like George Lucas. I think his ideas are actually, sometimes his ideas are, enough for everybody else, but some people can implement them a little bit better.
yeah. Well, at least Kirby didn't sell out to Disney.
No, well, I'm not talking about selling out. We're just talking about ideas here.
Yeah, but
Um,
yeah, this issue was great. Like I love all the stuff that Jack did at DC.
yes, yeah, and
Fourth World is some of my favorite like offbeat stuff. You know,
yeah,
off the track from the regular like capes and tights kind of thing.
what we need to look at if we keep looking at Kirby and DC later on is, because we can look at his Fourth World stuff with his new gods, but then look when he got mad at DC and left them and went back to Marvel, and then he did the Eternals, which they're going to be the next thing uh, in the Marvel movie universe.
Yep.
Everybody's wanting the Eternals. It's almost like the Eternals are. He just continued the storyline at Marvel.
Yeah, he started it here and he left. He started it with DC and he left them here because it was a DC property once he created them here.
Yep.
And then he just went over and he created a whole bunch of Eternals over at Marvel and wrote them into the mythos over there, which was equally as great. But I have not been impressed with the casting they did on the movie.
Yeah, I've only seen a few people on it.
I saw like the last casting picture, and I'm like, oh god,
Really.
we're
Yeah.
we're just we're just gonna play the diversity card again.
Well, the story's just so big. I don't know how they're going to do it, but
Yeah, I don't see how it's gonna work even in one of their, you know, megalomaniac, 3.5 hour movies.
yeah.
It's too the whole Eternals thing. It you know you got to get into like enough of the origin so people can understand what and who they are
What they
prior to getting into the actual story. So you're looking at like it's going to be like close to an hour, at least of origin with ongoing origin throughout, and
Yeah.
then some of the introduction story.
All right. So we rate this one a good 5 for ideas and art and execution,
Color.
and color, everything. And then next week, I guess we're going to move forward, what, about a good 15, 16 years?
Oh yeah. What do you got?
Next week, we're looking at Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or if you want to say proper, the original,
Xenozoic Tales.
Xenozoic Tales is what it was. Yep. By Mark Schultz.
Yep.
And this Schultz is incredible. We are going to be looking at, though, I think I talked with you. I do have, I've got some PDFs and stuff of the reprints because they're in color.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got some of the originals, but the originals that I have are all black and white. So we're actually going to be looking at the color ones, which are reprints, but the art is absolutely amazing.
It's still the same thing. I had all the cartoons,
You had all the cartoons.
all the ones that they released. They only released like a few episodes, and it was on something our ancestors used to refer to as VHS.
Yes. Yep. I'll have to look them up. I can't remember. I'm sure I've seen them, but I love the stories and I love Schultz's work. So,
Oh yeah.
all right. Well, I guess that's about it for tonight. We'll put this one to bed, and we'll be back next week as long as everything holds.
All right. Thanks for joining us right here on OK Boomer. And look for us over on Outright Geekery. We've got a whole bunch of new stuff coming up this week. Some new books showing up to shops that were allowed to open for curbside service around the country. So keep an eye out on the Outright Geekery Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. Everybody have a good night.